Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripadamaham vande Sri Gurudinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeshwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Anybody needs translation? Switch off all your notifications, otherwise your phones will be confiscated and auctioned off. Okay, everyone understands English? All right. Those who don't understand English, they should be at the back and some left corner, that side. Hindi mein. Hindi mein. You gotta tell in Hindi. And everybody can move up. Haribo. Move up, guys. All the way. All the way to the wall. Yes. We fit as many as 2,000 people in here. Okay. Troop movement. Quick. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Shrinvata Sakita Krishna.
Shrinvata Sakita Krishna.
Punya Shravana Kirtana. Hridyantakstohya Bhadrani. Vidunoti Suritsatam. Who knows the translation? Go ahead.
Someone hears the Krishna Katha, which is gives pious credit, spiritual pious credit, and by hearing this, the anartha which are present within our heart, we do know the Suhrit Satam. The Lord, who is the Suhrit Satam, He destroys the anarthas which are present in the core of the heart.
Haribol. Haribol. Very good. Thank you. So, Prabhupada said we should hear Bhagavatam every day. So, there is no excuse for not hearing Bhagavatam. Don't think that, oh yeah, now we're in Mayapur, we're doing other stuff. Sadhana is what you do every day. Satatam kirtayanto mam yadantascha dridavrata namashyantascha mam bhaktya nitya uktu upasate. Nitya. This is nitya lila. Not just, okay, right now, I need a little bit of that to get where I want to go. Like some of you are still students, right? How many of you are still in school? How many? Student? No more. All passed out. Everybody job already. College is also your student, same student. I mean, you may think in your head that you already know it all, but then at exam time you realize maybe not. Not quite. Now, of course, some people are never wrong, but they're not always right. So, practice is what happens when no one is watching. What do you do when you're not on yatra? What do you do when it's not festival? What do you do when there are no other devotees around? Or what are you doing on your phone? That's your practice. So you can write that down. I know some of you have photographic memory. But Prabhupada said to remember means to write it down. To remember means to write it down. So, take a screenshot of that. Practice is what happens when no one is watching. What am I doing when no one is around? That's your practice. That's the good news, and that's the bad news. So, how to build up a good practice? We have to be around devotees who have a good practice, who are solid in their practice. Are you getting up before the sun gets up? Are you getting up before Brahma Muhurta? Am I chanting my rounds properly and paying attention? Or am I just going through the mechanics? I know engineering is still a popular topic, and people think if I just do 2 of these and 4 of those and 16 of those and don't do this, and then I will achieve the goal. You may how many of you know Tapan Mishra? Have you heard of Tapan Mishra? Tapan Mishra, he was an educated Brahmin, but he didn't know the goal of life, nor the way how to attain it. He didn't know the sadhya or the sadhan. And you might question, how is that possible? How can you be educated but you don't know the goal, nor the means how to attain it? Well, look around you. Ask anyone in your company or in your college, in your university, what is the goal and how to achieve the goal? And they will say, man, I just want a job. I just want a diploma. I just want to get paid. I just want to get whatever. But that's not the sadhya. That's not the ultimate goal. Because for doing that, do you have to go to university to get paid, to get a job? No. Plenty of people out there getting paid, having jobs, making way more money than people who actually went to university. You know that most successful people in the world, they all dropped out from universities? You heard that before? Okay. Just, No, it's okay. It's nice. We need people who know how to, build these and fix these. That's fine. But that's not considered real knowledge. That's considered shilpa. It's just an art, It's just a trade. It's just a job, knowing how to assemble things. Ahishtam yatat punarjanma jayaya. How good are we at overcoming the cycle of birth and death? How good are we in that? So, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. If you want to have an actual trajectory, you want to actually achieve some objective, some sadhya, some goal. First of all, you have to understand what is the real goal. Prema Pumartha Mohan. What is that Purushartha Shiromani? What is that really valuable thing? Just making money and spending it is stupid, okay? It's useless. Because whether the bunch of zeros are here or there, it doesn't matter unless you put the one, Ekala Ishvara Krishna, Arasava Britya. And unless you put Krishna in front, it's all useless. It's just all a bunch of data. Now I know people are becoming very trained, very skilled, very expert in memorizing data and in spitting out a little bit of data, but it's still data. There's no vigyan, there's no realization. Information without application does not lead to realization. And without realization, there is no transformation. So if you want sadhya, change of heart, you want to get closer to the Lord, then you need realization. Right now is the most important time of your life. You're investing in your foundation. Sadhana is foundational. Now, if you walk around Mayapur, especially go over to that side, Gaurnagar, you've heard, near the main road, you see a bunch of buildings who are a little bit like this and a little bit like that, and some you wonder, is this really done the proper way? Why? Because people compromised on the foundation. Did you any here in engineering for construction, building? 20% of your building cost goes into the foundation. 20%. Now, no one's going to come and say, hey, Prabhu, you got a nice foundation. They'll say, yeah, you got nice curtains, or, you have a nice toilet, or, your kitchen looks really nice. But nobody will say you got a nice foundation. But if you don't have it, problem, big problem. It will show. So right now is the most important time of your life. Why? Because you're working on your foundation. The foundation means, first and foremost, first you have to dig. You have to dig and get out some stuff that's not supposed to be there. Anartha nivriti. You have to take some things out, that you have acquired. You know, these upadhis, we're thinking, oh, I'm a desi, or I'm a videshi, or I'm from this tribe or that tribe, I'm from this caste or that caste, I'm from that Are you IIT Valas or NIT Valas? Or local college Valas? Or you're just Valas, you know? Because everybody has got some upadhi. Everybody thinks like, hey, I'm my truck, you know, or I'm my rickshaw, or I'm my tela, you know? Like Prabhupada was making the point that the guy who drives in the car, he says, hey, tela! You know? Honk, honk, tela, get out of the way. But he's not a tela, he's a jiva. He just happens to pull a tela. Like we don't know people by their trade, by their name, we know people by their trade. We know them by their job. Like you're a techie wala, you know. So like Sridhar, he was known as Kolavecha, as the banana guy. You have the coconut guy, the banana guy, right? The sugar cane guy. Everybody has got their name by their trade, but that's not who they really are. They have a individual identity. So that's why Tapan Mishra didn't know the goal of life nor how to attain it, because Keami, who am I? And what am I doing here? And where is my life going? So these are real important questions. If you want to improve the dialogue, you have to improve the level of questioning. It's not how much is the dollar, or how long it takes to get a green card, or how much do they pay you in San Francisco. That's not the right kind of questioning. The right kind of questioning is, where am I going? What is really important? What is really valuable? So that's the kind of questioning that will actually make you achieve your objective. Otherwise, you'll end up with broken pieces of glass. You may be the king, you may be the emperor, you may be the big walla, but you're still a walla. You're not one of the Sankirtan team of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, you have learned how to cram data, but computers are much better at cramming data. Have you noticed how they can crunch numbers? Big amounts of data. Our RAM is limited. Our hard drive is limited. And in a similar way, you can also train monkeys, you can train parrots, you can train many people to do many things. But if you were to ask them, what's the meaning of what you learned? What's the meaning of what you just memorized? Most of them, no clue, no idea. And that means it's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere, why? Because no idea, no clue where it's supposed to be going. That means it's not going anywhere. So, the body without a head is kind of ugly, right? Kind of looks not so beautiful. But that's exactly how society is right now. They ask Prabhupada, why have you come? We have culture, religion, education, science, etc. Why have you come? He said, I've come to give you a brain. Because right now it looks like everything's paka, but you start to talk to people and you realize there's no brain there. Have you ever noticed? You enter in some dialogue? So I ask people, are you smart or you have a smartphone? And they say, yes, I have a smartphone. And I say, you're qualified, you get a book. And they're like, oh, I'm qualified, that's great. Now you laugh, but most of them, by the way, if you say this, you're not allowed to smile. Because if you smile, they're not going to give you the money, okay? They think like this is some scam or something. You have to be very serious. So, if you don't know who is the sucker means the one who gets cheated, it's you. It's you. Now, you may have learned how to read, you may have learned how to count, you may have learned how to write, but did they teach you how to think? No. Because thinking means purva paksha. It means you have to have thesis, antithesis, synthesis. You have to be able to know, okay, what is the topic? What is the antithesis, which means antithesis in English? I know you're all in engineering, you're not in humanities, but you're supposed to know this stuff. the opposition, the challenge, and then you have to come to a synthesis, which is the conclusion. So that's what you learn by asking the right kind of questions. Just like, did you notice last year, all the flight systems, everything went down because somebody just uploaded some software on Friday night, and they thought, yeah, no problem. We're going to have a nice, fun weekend partying. Yeah, right. Yeah, wonderful. Thousands of flights got stranded. And why? Because somebody did not really ask the right kind of questions. They didn't really test the software properly. So in a similar way, right now we're practicing sadhana. Why? Not just to get into a routine, not just to get rid of some gunk, not just, gunk means dirt, not just to purify ourselves from our anarthas, from our upadis, from our false designations, but to actually become connected, solidly connected with Krishna. Because as we move through life, we will be tested. And test is not just an exam where, you spit out some data and you write a little essay, a little paper, and you don't upset your teachers too much, and you get a passing grade and you get hired. No, testing means you have to be load-bearing, load-bearing. That means once the weight comes on, you have to be able to hold it. You have to be able to stick it out. And it's not a question if, it's only a question when the tests will come. And the tests have already come. Have you noticed how Maya is testing you? You haven't noticed. You're still in the honeymoon. You're still like, rasgulla, misti dai, khichdi, khub bhalo. Everything is still ecstasy, right? Everything is still. But after the honeymoon comes the work, Then it's okay, where are we going to live, Where are the kids going to go to school? This stuff is really expensive. Maybe I need to start my own company. Just like they taught you mathematics, but that doesn't mean that you're financially literate. Because most people, they don't live according to their means, which means they're not financially literate. They're always in debt. No matter how much money they make, they're always in debt. Do you know people like that? And it's not because they don't get paid enough. It's because they're not financially literate. They haven't figured out that either you earn more or you spend less. Both you do both at the same time. But in order to do that, you have to have a higher taste. You have to have something else besides bhoga and tyaga. You have to have sadhana. You have to have a spiritual practice. And that means it's not mechanical. So in sadhana, you have to be conscious, because before you can be Krishna conscious, you have to be conscious. I know you're young and you're still growing and you're eating a lot of that good prasad, and then it's food coma, right? Like usually, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It's like pulling the plug, right? Have you noticed sometimes? You open the book and half the room goes. They just crash out. Yeah, I know. I was there too. I joined when I was 15. I was a kid. Prasadam was great. We worked hard. We were out there 10, 12 hours distributing books. But then you're supposed to read and you just crash out. They put me on the balcony to chant my japa in the winter, freezing, snow outside. You can have one guy with a spray gun, whenever people start crashing out, you go, He will be highly popular, That person will be very popular, right, amongst the group. Anyway, humor aside, sadhana is non-negotiable. It's your foundation, and the foundation is non-negotiable. It's a must. What kind of curtain, what kind of toilet seat, what kind of paint job, who cares? But if the thing doesn't hold up, it will not be good. So, and that's an ongoing thing. It's not like I did it, I got initiation, and I have my name, and I'm one of the cool guys now. Because to initiate means you've achieved the goal? No. It means you've started, right? They gave you that number and say, okay, now you're admitted to the race. Now go and, let's see if you can go to stretch. Now I can guarantee you all the people in this room can run a marathon, but you need a little training. You need a little training. And training means every day. Every day. Every day. Every day a little something. Prabhupada got up, Kichu, just a little, a bit. Prabhupada got up every night at midnight and he translated 6 pages. And over 12 years he wrote 80 books. Now you may say 6 pages, not that much. I don't know when you wrote the last time 6 pages, right? Remember last time you wrote 6 pages essay? You have to think hard, right? Because why? Because it's just, engineering. Mostly it's just memorizing some data, some formulas, doing a couple of exercises. Realization. So, but Prabhupada did it. Why? There's a saying that if you have 1 year time, you grow rice. If you have 10 year time, you grow coconuts. If you have 100 years time, you grow people. Now Prabhupada got up every night at midnight and wrote 6 pages in order to give us the law books for the next 10,000 years. So that was his time scale. Our time scale is breakfast, lunch, dinner. Or let's get through the week, let's get through the month, let's get through the year. But his time scale was 10,000 years. He was willing to plant trees whose fruit he would never eat. Sometimes you have to do all the work, and generations to come will reap the fruits. Is that okay with you? Oh, you sound very enthusiastic. You're like, man, I want to get paid. I want to get paid. Yeah, then you're going to be selling peanuts and pani puri and whatever, Yes, you get paid, but not much. But if you want to do things of magnitude, you have to invest. And first and foremost, you have to invest in yourself. Because the way you define success defines your success. Now, ahar nidra bhaya maitun, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, you don't have to go to college. You don't have to get a degree. Every bug, every mosquito, every creature is doing that. A person, one of the great acharyas, he said that if you feel pain, you are alive. If you feel someone else's pain, you are human. Who said that? Which acharya said that? No. Leo Tolstoy. Have you heard of Leo Tolstoy? No. All science, No humanities. No history, no literature, no philosophy, nahi, shunya. That's why we end up, with people who are super smart, but socially awkward and quite dysfunctional. Now, you're supposed to be the leaders of your communities, because fast forward a couple of years, you got to be married, have a bunch of kids, have a company, or be a brahmachari or sadhu or whatever, and people are going to look towards you as the leader, the role model. But if you're socially awkward, which means that you're super expert in one field, you may know Python, may know this or that or the other thing, but if you don't know Sankirtan, if you're not a team player, just like you see here, Mahaprabhu, Sankirtan pastime, people don't only know how to play a drum or how to play an instrument, but they know how to cooperate with others. And that you don't learn at the university, for the most part. Okay, they give you a couple assignments and you have to supposed to do team stuff, right? And everyone tries to be the best and try to prove that they're the greatest, right? And they're not sharing their data because they're scared that, they'll get the same score like me. I want to get the best score. So then the project is mediocre. It's mediocre. Because you can't do bigger things alone. You need to have a team. Whether it's in sports or in business or in politics or in spirituality, you need to be a team player. So why are we here in Mayapur? Missy Dahi? Rasgulla? Gulab Jamun? We're here to learn how to be part of the Sankirtan team of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I guarantee you, if you learn this art, you will succeed in business, in art, in family, in preaching, in everything. But if you don't succeed in this, everything else is useless. Because it's meaningless, it's pointless. Have you ever seen a dog chasing its own tail? They don't do this in India, right? Dogs are smart here, right? They don't chase their own tail. Of course they do. Have you ever seen dogs chase cars? Have you ever seen a dog actually stop a car? Now, why didn't they taught them in dog school, in dog university, that you're not supposed to chase cars? Because they're dogs. Huh? And similar way, you think you're educated, but as soon as they see some beautiful object, whatever it might be, they think, Huh? So now, movies, social media, sports, politics, this is all the big craze. Why? Because it gives you a little dopamine? It gives you a little buzz? Huh? Why are we here? We're here to develop our attraction for Shri Shri Radha Madhava. We're here to upgrade our taste. Are you upgrading your apps? Are you upgrading your apps regularly? Yes or no? Yes. Because otherwise nothing works, right? Are you upgrading your taste? Are you upgrading your goals? Are you upgrading your way of living? Otherwise we're still caveman. We're still in a cockroach mode of existence. And that's not a good life. So you're in the right place doing the right thing, but I've been watching you. Huh? There's a lot of confusion. Bhayam vitya bhiniveshatasya dishade pritasya viparyo smriti. Fear arises when we see something as separate from Krishna. Good guys, bad guys, friends and enemies. Huh? It's very easy to get into that pattern, right? So that's why we have to study Bhagavatam every day. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Huh? Are you reading Bhagavatam every day? How many of you have read the first canto? How many of you have read the whole Bhagavatam? So there's some homework to do. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. So get on with it. Even though you might be busy, you want to get something done, ask a busy person. You read one verse a day, it'll take you 46 years. You can all do it. Huh? You read one chapter a day, it takes you a little over a year. It's doable, but you have to start today. So a day without reading Prabhupada's books is a day wasted. Huh? This is foundational. This is an ongoing process. Otherwise, you'll be shooting blanks. You make a lot of noise, but there's no impact. And unfortunately, oftentimes, especially in engineering, we confuse efficiency with effectiveness. You've heard? Just like there's two guys on the side of the road, and a guy goes by, and he sees one is digging a hole, the other one is closing the hole. Do you know the analogy? Huh? And he gets a little puzzled, and he walks over to them and says, "Sir, what are you guys doing?" And they say, usually we're three guys, One digs the hole, then the other one puts the tree, and then the other one closes it. But the guy who puts the tree, he didn't come today. Now they're very efficient, they're digging, they got all the tools, they know how to do things. But are they effective? Have you ever done the wrong homework? Have you ever barked up the wrong tree? Chased the wrong target? Yes, it has happened to all of us. That's why we need mentors, guides, and we need a loyal opposition. What is the loyal opposition? These are your real friends. These are the people who are in the same field like you. And they know what you're up to. And they can help you to be a better person. And they will tell you, Jeev Jago, Gora Chandra Bole, Kota Nidra Jaumaya, Pisachira Kole. Oh, you're not my friend. You wake me up. I want to sleep. It's so nice. Huh? No, this is your friend. Somebody who criticizes you is your friend. Somebody who glorifies you, well, it depends. Oftentimes it's like, oh, Maharaj! Gimme. Right? If somebody comes and praises you, immediately there is a hook. Have you noticed? Huh? But if you don't know that, then you're the sucker. You're the fall guy. You fall for it. Huh? So we're here to learn these things. Because as you grow in age and in expertise, there will be a lot of proposals. There will be a lot of offers. There will be a lot of people who say, hey, we need a strong guy. Come on, pull my tela. Do you like maslamuri? Huh? Banglabav, it's nice. I give you 2 meals a day. Huh? Are you in? No, you look strong. And you think, yeah, I can do it. Huh? And thus we're busy for many lifetimes, building our castles of sands and dreaming our American and Russian and Desi and Videsi dreams. Till Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagavana Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade by Bhakti Lata Beach. Finally we meet the sadhu who says, excuse me, sir, you're looking a little sad. You're looking a little depressed. Could it be because you kind of lost your way and you're a little confused about your identity and where you're going? Could that be a possibility? And we hear Bhagavad Gita, and it's like soothing medicine. Have you ever been depressed? Does this ever happen to you? 3 people said yes. All the others are always ekdom, right? Fully charged up, ecstatic. No, sometimes it happens, especially if you tune into the news. Have you noticed? What is in the news? All bad stuff, right? And then if you hear and read that stuff, what happens? You get depressed. Because you think like, am I going to make it through the day? Through the week? Is the world going to end this year? These guys are just going to blow it all up. Like I went to school for 15 years. And now what? You're going to blow up my planet? This is depressing. You know how many students are struggling with mental health? They're taking medication. They're demoralized. They think like, I've given my life and you guys are ruining it for me. It's depressing. But then you pick up the Gita and you read a few verses and you go like, wow. Has this ever happened to you? That Prabhupada was answering your problem, your question, your scenario right there and then in the same verse that you read? Has this ever happened to you? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Well, thank you. You're a good audience. You're good. And if not, then what are you doing with your life? Now you may say, well, I got places to go, people to meet, jobs to do. If you're not reading the Bhagavatam, you're going nowhere. You're like these boys with the motorbikes. Ring, 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 ring. Burning rubber, burning gas, but not going anywhere. Just making a whole lot of noise. Huh? So don't do that to yourself. Because you will be back here in this classroom. Either tomorrow, next year, or in 1,000 lifetimes. Till we learn the lessons. Huh? So, it's about taste. Do I have taste for japa? Satatam kirtantamam. We should be chanting all the time. But because we can't do that, we're still, a little busy with our project. So, Prabhupada said, okay, do 16 rounds, 2 hours. You can do it. It's doable. Out of 24, 2 hours. Okay, fine. Huh? Reading, yes. It's not just a chore. It's not just turning pages and handing in assignments. It's realization. I'm not testing your ability to memorize as a teacher, as an educator. I want to know, have you understood the subject? Huh? Do you know what it's about? Can you convey this to others in a way that's attractive, relatable, and impactful? If not, we failed. Huh? We failed. So Tapan Mishra, he had this problem. But he was lucky. Why? Because he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, even though you are chanting, Tapan Mishra was a Brahmin. He was chanting his Sandhya. He was doing his mala. He was worshipping his deity, his Thakur. but he was not engaging in Sankirtan. He was not collaborating with others to spread the glories of the Lord. And that's why he was confused. So in a similar way, I see a lot of potential here. I see a lot of intellectual capacity. But you have to grow in your realization. You have to grow in your emotional intelligence. That means vigyan. And that comes from application. So, this is the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Do Harinam Sankirtan. Go out and chant Hare Krishna in the street. And some people will walk by and they will say, hey, get a job. And then you want to jump and tell him, like, I'm an NIT walla, I'm an IIT walla, I'm this walla, I'm that walla. And then you realize, no. It's the way of the world, I just read in Chaitanya Bhagavat yesterday, Haridas Thakur was chanting Hare Krishna, 3 lakhs nam every day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And some people didn't think that's such a good idea. They thought you're a disgrace to our tribe, and we're going to beat you up, we're going to kill you, we're going to throw you in jail. So you will face some adversity. You will face some challenges. It's not a question if, it's a question when. And it haven't started yet. It means you're still in the honeymoon and you're still high on, sugar water. But at some point, you will face challenges. And then it's being tested. How much is my taste and how much is my realization? Am I actually convinced? One time Prabhupada here, right over there in the Lotus building, he called all the leaders, the GBCs, all the big boys. And he asked them one question. Are you convinced? If your guru asks you something, you can't just fake it, It's not like in exam time where you just sound smart and stuff. You have to actually, you got to be real. Are you convinced? Pin drop silence. And the third time he was practically screaming at them. Are you convinced? And then he said, because if you are not convinced, how are you going to convince anybody? Like you go on the street, you want to give someone a book. And they're like, yeah, so what? Why? Like, what's in it for me? I can read this online, I can buy this online, I can get this in 1,000 places. Why should I take this from you and give you money? And then you can't just, give some parrot-like answer. They're like, okay, you learned your script, but what's your realization? Why are you doing what you're doing? One time in Mexico, in Guanajuato, there was a very distinguished-looking gentleman on the market square, and he had 3-piece suit, pocket watch, rings, cane, mustache, the whole thing. 70 plus, aristocratic, either business or politics. Before I could say a word, he looked at me and he said, what you trying to do? Now, what do you do when you don't know what to do? Have you ever been in a situation you didn't know the answer? Has this ever happened to you? Huh? Plenty of times, right? So then what do? Huh? You ask Siri, you call mom, you count your money, you check your cheat sheet, you ask your neighbor. No, you can't. It's crunch time. So then what? What are you going to do in that situation?
Delve inside.
Delve inside. What is inside?
Just to see when am I short of.
Yeah, usually it's brain fog, It's like, Jamila. Huh? So, delve inside. Where? Come on, help me. Work with me, people.
Introspecting.
Yeah, introspecting, but what's inside besides fog and confusion and fear? Huh? Knowledge? Doesn't work. Disconnected. Emotions are high, If emotions go up, rationale goes down. You know that axis?
Yes.
Yeah? You know that axis, right? Emotions go up, rationale goes down. Arjuna wasn't able to consult his intelligence. He was too emotional about the whole situation. He saw his teachers, his friends, his family members. I got to kill all these guys. These are all the people I love. Why should I do that? It's not going to be any fun.
There should be some sunshine to get out of the fog.
Some sunshine.
Yeah.
Where does the sunshine come from?
The universe.
From the universe? Ah. So let us pray to the universe. The universe gave me a new car. A new scooty. The universe gave me a nice job. Huh? Nice universe. Till it all comes crashing down. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Andakara, Yahan Krishna Mayarikar. Is the Krishna son. Tesham satati yuktanam prachitam pratipurvakam dadhami bhudi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. Last paragraph. You know that verse, right? 10:10? Do you know it?
Yes, Professor.
Okay. In the last paragraph, Prabhupada says, you may be in a spiritual organization. You may be following a spiritual path. You may even have a guru. But you may not know how to achieve the real goal of life. So then what? Then he says, if you're serious and sincere, and you're doing whatever you're doing for Krishna, with love, priti purvakam, with affection, then Krishna will give you the intelligence to come to him. Did you ever displace your phone or your key or something, and you looked all over and you didn't find it, and you were already going like, hey, you, did you take it? Did you take it? He must have taken it because he's not looking at me. And you go like already like, blaming and cursing and panic, frantic, anxiety mode. Has this ever happened to you? And then at some point you give up. You say, okay, I accept. I'm an idiot. I don't know where it is, And then bing! Then what happens? Super soul, Paramatma. Jnana, Smriti, Apohanam cha. Krishna does this. Knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. This capacity comes from Krishna. So then, all of a sudden, a molecule of humility appears. Okay, maybe it wasn't so good that I accused him and that I blamed that one and the world and I got angry with the universe and maybe I made a mistake. And all of a sudden, bing, remembrance comes. Oh yeah, you put it in your jacket, it's there in the wardrobe, right? Oh, I knew it all along. Ta-da, I'm great. Or no, thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Krishna, for teaching me this valuable lesson. So, if you want to be Krishna conscious, first you have to be conscious. And for that, we're here. That's what we're here to learn. How to upgrade our taste, our affection, develop a taste for hearing and chanting, develop a taste for kirtan, develop a taste for reading, studying Prabhupada's books every day. We should know them like a lawyer knows his law books. And then, realization comes by application. Going out and actually doing something. Doing something for the world. There is no question of Nam Ruchi and Vaishnav Seva without Jiva Doya. If you don't have any feeling of compassion, if you don't have any feeling like, let me do something to help others, let me try to be a little bit of service, If it's still I, me, and mine, if it's still all about me, you know that song? I, me, and mine? Have you heard of these three people? Yeah? You're familiar, right? So, but you realize it's a big world out there. There's a whole lot of other factors in the equation. And if I want to be successful in life and in bhakti, I have to learn how to be of service to others. Why does Krishna appear as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He wants to taste the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani. How can she be so blissful, serving me? I want to have what she has. I want to have that prema. And for that he appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then we have to do seva. We have to figure out not just how to be a minimalist. Prabhu, I'm a little busy right now. All day long we're chanting, Hare Krishna, give me service, give me service. And then somebody comes, hey, I got to clean the floor. No, I'm busy chanting. Huh? All day long we're chanting, asking for service. When service comes, we say, no. Huh? I can accept Mahaprasad, I can accept garland, I can accept honor, but I can't do... Prabhupada was doing everything. He was cooking, cleaning, serving, writing, distributing, training. And yeah, he also gave the malas and, he did that. But that's a very small part. So if you want to do things of magnitude, you have to be team compatible. You have to increase your emotional intelligence through seva projects. And that's what you're here for to learn in ISKCON. And if you get this down, you can do anything in this world. I dropped out of 9th grade when I was 15 because I read the Gita and I realized that's it. I struck gold. I gotta go for this. Huh? And I dropped everything and I joined the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The first 3 years I didn't know in which town I was because it didn't matter. All I knew was the van door opens, I jump out and I shoot everything that moves. I give everybody Prabhupada's books. And then I study Prabhupada's books. And then I take prasad. And then sleep, wash, rinse, and repeat. That was the first few years of my life. Then I said, okay, now you're a leader. You got a van. You go take care of a team. Then they call me here and say, now you're marketing director for the world. Okay, you got to go and teach people how to do this. And, depending on the gravity, the taste of your bhajan, of your sadhana, Krishna will increase your service capacity. Right now you think like, I can just do this much, right? But don't be a minimalist. Don't think like, I just got to get by. I just got to make it. Because good is the enemy of great. Good is the enemy of great. Prabhupada was not mediocre. He said, I have one disease. I cannot think small. So these are a couple of reflections on the topic of sadhana. Yes, you can do study groups, reading groups, japa circles. These are all valid and wonderful things. But ultimately, everything we do in life boils down to taste. What do I like? Why do I distribute books after 4 decades? Not because I have to. Because I had my 5 minutes of fame 30 years ago, So, why do I do it? Because I like to do it. Because it's the way how I feel connected to the internal potency. It's how I feel empowered. When you see a person who's totally gone, like some of the people who fall asleep, like the body is here, but they're off in la la land, la 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 la, la 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 la. They're off in dreamland, right? But the body is here. You see people like that. And all of a sudden, the book comes in their hand and they go, wow! And you can see that moment that they have, looking at Krishna and going like, man, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Yesterday I had a guy, he's 28, he's in the army, he's from Delhi, he's border patrol stationed here, wants to go work for the president on a security detail, smelled a little bit of alcohol, and I gave him the straight talk. I just said, look, this is crunch time. Either you get your act together or you're going to be no good to yourself and to the world. And did he just say that or did he just say that? I say, yeah, man, I can see from your nose you're a boxer. You're taking a few hits. But now it's time to upgrade your thinking and your heart, your feeling, because otherwise you're not going anywhere. And he was very happy to get that book. Of course, this is Mayapur. A lot of pilgrims come. So it's not like you're somewhere in Delhi or, Gurugram or somewhere, sticking it out. But Kurukshetra is everywhere, meaning the battlefield of preaching is the same, no matter what your zip code is. Sometimes you tell people, yeah, I'm coming from Switzerland, and they say like, go back to Switzerland. I'm like, thank you. I love you too. It was nice coming here, So why does Krishna do that? Because he knows what we need. He knows how to refine us. He knows how to help us to become better. So if you want to have a safe, comfortable, cozy life, don't go in Sankirtan. Don't deal with that blue boy who's playing the flute and who's... Don't deal with Krishna. Go to the Devas. They do business. Their shop is open for business. Krishna doesn't do business. Krishna only does bhakti. And in bhakti, anything that gets between the bhakta and Bhagavan will be removed, will be messed with. If your ego gets in the way, your fame, your money, your prestige, Krishna will remove it. Yasyaham anugrinami harishe taddanam shanai. He will start playing games. Why? Because that's what he likes to do. He likes playing games. You like games? Bring it on. Let's play. What's your favorite game? Like whenever I give books to families, and the kids stand around, okay, the big people are talking again, when is this over? And then at the end I say, okay, more books, less video games, deal? And they go, okay, deal. So technically you're adults, but not quite yet, What does it mean to be an adult? Mature, yeah, mature. But we're far from there. We're far from being mature. So, and only cheese matures with age, Only cheese matures with age. People need training. Just because you get older, you have met plenty of old fools, right? So, we have to refine ourselves to this process. And the Yuga Dharma is Harinam Sankirtan. It's not fire sacrifice. It's not this. It's not that. We may do all these other things, but in combination with Harinam Sankirtan, then it works. It's the winning formula. So don't get caught up in Gyan or karma or yoga or yagya. You can see when people, swaha, swaha, everybody starts running. Oh, there's a fire. Ah! Like there's a flame to touch, right? Everybody puts their elbows out and they start running, right? And they're ready to knock over 30 people to go touch that flame. Have you noticed?
Yes.
How people stampede? And of course we appreciate the enthusiasm, the utsaha, but then if I step on 30 other people in order to get blessings, how much blessings am I going to get from those 30 people? You know how you feel if somebody kicks you in the head, right? Or puts an elbow in your eye. So bhakti is the path of grace. It's not about being faster, being smarter, jumping higher. It's about developing our love, our pritipurvakam, our attraction, and how to help others. Now I'm here talking to you because I have realized that the more I've tried to help others, the more Krishna helped me, the more he empowered me. Because if you try to figure things out in this world, there's too many variables. There's too many things that can go wrong. But Krishna got you covered. So don't stress. You're in the right place. You're doing the right thing. And don't worry about the stock market. Don't worry about inflation. Don't worry about, demons trying to blow up the world. That has been going on since time immemorial. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. After the yatra, I had... Wow, it's 1 minute to 9. Okay, questions, comments, and reflections. Yes?
While in a day, if I get some services, so I do it for that day. But during that moment, if I miss the reading and the reading or hearing activities, so that moment, what should I do? I love to do services.
You see, this is called a false dichotomy. You know what false dichotomy is? Straw man arguments. It's a wrong argument. It's a wrong premise. We say either this or that. Okay, should I do the service or I should do the reading? Baba, you got 24 hours in the day. What are you doing all day long? How long does your service take? How long is your service? So why am I talking to you? If you want to get something done, ask a busy person. I know you guys are busy. You don't go to the park, the guy there, who's just conked out, smoking or drinking. You don't ask these guys to get job done. You ask busy people to get things done. The more your capacity, the more your surrender increases, the more your capacity increases. So right now, we're about a 5 RAM and about a 2 watt, You can translate that. But as our surrender increases and our enthusiasm, Krishna will increase your service potential. So don't cut corners and don't try to play out one against the other. It's like, oh, Prabhuji, you're telling me to do this, but he told me to do that. Huh? Now what? Huh? Why don't you guys go and figure it out? I'm innocent. Huh? Only watching, no touching. Huh? I don't know why I'm here in the material world. I must be innocent, Okay, all right. I didn't read the disclaimer. I didn't notice that, Kale doshanidhe rajan, Don't try to make up excuses. Don't use your intelligence to try to prove why you can't do what you're supposed to do. Rather, use your intelligence to figure out how to do it in the best possible way. And yeah, there are never enough hours in the day. It's just the way it is. But all you can do is all you can do. Okay? Other questions? Yes?
Hare Krishna, sir.
Hare Krishna also here.
Yeah. I have a question here. You said that if at all you are distributing the books and if somebody, distribution and somebody says that all these things are online, I need not buy it from you. Why do I need to buy it from you? The hard copy. So what should we answer? What could be the absolute answer where we can shut his mouth and he should buy it?
That happens when you have so much taste that the person takes one look at you and they go like, man, how can I become like you? That just wipes out all the arguments, all the ifs, buts, and whens. Because you can go so fancy and so smart as you want, and they say, but, and I'm still not going to give you the money because I don't like you. And I don't like the way how you talk to me. So what? But if you're actually blissful, people will just say, man, what you got? I want what you have. Amilagbe. Because we've been in this big desert, being lost, for cast out into the ocean for so long. And you finally meet somebody who's actually awake, who's actually there. And not just sattvic and, in tune with the universe and does a little meditation and mindfulness, but somebody who's actually willing to extend himself beyond the call of duty to help other people, to be part of the solution. That's attractive. People will want what you have. Yeah, you can tell them, what if the web goes down, if there's no more, if there's no more electricity? What if the bomb wipes out your hard drive, or no, but there's so many arguments, and arguments are inconclusive. Tarko pratishtha shrutayo vibina yasya rishir matam navinam dharmasya dattvam nitam guhayam mahajanina kataksapanta. Why are they inconclusive? Because pratishtha. As long as pratishtha is involved, abhiman is involved, no progress, not going anywhere. So don't engage with people on the level of argument. Yeah, sometimes debates are cool and all that, but I'm too old for that. I'm 56. I'm not going to waste my breath. I don't have that much gas in the tank. If you're younger, yeah, have a field day. Knock yourself out. I'm not going there. Huh? If you go picking fruits, what do? You pick the right fruits, not the ones who are not ripe. Of course, in Bengal, you break the branch and you drag the branch home, because otherwise somebody else will get it. And then you wonder, why, okay, the mango is kacha, all right, I can do certain things with it, but it's never going to be ripe. It's never going to be beautiful. Prabhupada had a great sense of urgency, but he was also very detached. And that is a very attractive combination. If people only see your enthusiasm and your determination, but they don't see your patience, they don't see your detachment, then it's just another person trying to sell some idea or some product. But if they can see that, hey, I'm good, man. I'm good. Why? Because, hey, I went to Mangal Arti. Did you see the deities this morning? Huh? It's pretty amazing, right? Huh? You chanted Hare Krishna? It was pretty nice. And then you just go out into the day like, hey, it's playgroup, you know, you're like an intoxicated prince, just giving out gifts to anybody that he meets. Because I got it all. I had nothing to struggle or to worry about. But if you go into the world to try to get something from the world, your life is going to be miserable. And I can give you, you know, a certificate, you know, on that. It's going to be miserable. So work more. You know, prachar doesn't just mean selling a book or giving the talk. It means what do I convey by my own example, by my own persona? Last question from the universe. Yes.
We can recite or again and we should know the essence of it.
Yes.
Just only knowing the meaning of the Bhagavad Gita, or we should know the essence of it, and we should also by heart that work if it is needed regarding that. Sloka, that is 120 slokas.
You know, people nowadays don't respond to Shastra and to shlokas so much.
Regarding me, I am asking, Prabhu.
Yeah, you should read, you should memorize and all that, but you should know the essence. And what is the essence? Manmana bhavamat bhakto madhyajin mam namaskuru mame vaishasi satyam te pratijane prayosime sarvadharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. No more fear, no more anxiety. You're good. As long as I still think something else is going to save me, then you're going to be in trouble. Because ultimately only Krishna can save us. When Draupadi was letting go, then Krishna took action. Before that, he didn't take action. So as long as I think I still got to figure it out, I got plan A, B, C, D, E, you know. I still got, you know, my backup systems. I'm good. Let's try bhakti for a little bit, you know, and if I'm not going to become a big star or a big success, then I can still go and do other things. Then Krishna says, and we're like, yeah, Krishna, you're cool, you know. You're cool, I'm cool. And Krishna says, okay, you're cool, I'm cool too, you know. It's good. Krishna is perfect. He can play a statue. He can play very cool. But you want to actually get rasa, you actually want to have a loving relationship with Krishna, you got to stop playing those games and you know, get real. And I know it's hard because we've learned to play games for so many lifetimes. But Krishna knows before we even plan and scheme. He knows, oh, look, he's going to do this. Look, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. And that doesn't mean that he makes you do it, but like a loving parent. Maria Soda, she knows Krishna is going to go and he's going to steal butter now. She knows. The gopis know. And it's a source of great joy. So, realization comes from application. And for that, you need a team. So be a team player. Don't think you can win this alone. And the more we surrender, the more Krishna will empower you. And I've seen people who were hardly able to speak two cohesive words. But Krishna changed the game and they became brilliant. They became stellar. And I've seen other people who could razzle and dazzle, but they just couldn't even stop one person or no impact. So don't get stuck in efficiency mode, trying to make more nimbu pani. But take some time off. And Mayapur is a good place because here you notice how the energy is moving different than if you're in the big bad city. It's kind of peaceful, you know, especially if you go a little out into nature. Take some time to reflect a little bit on your life. What are my goals? What are my attachments? And where should I pursue my energy? Where should I put my attention? Where attention goes, energy flows. Write that down. Huh? Where attention goes, energy flows. Wherever I give attention, that's where the energy will go. Huh? And where I should maybe put a little less attention and a little less energy because it has not been so good for me. So this is a very interesting phase of life because you're at crossroads, Sandhya, junction. And there's not just one or the other road. There's a lot of options. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Who would you like to be? And the internet makes it seem like you can be anyone. You can be anywhere. You can be anything and do anything. But no, that's not the case. That's not the case. There's the way up and there's the way down. It's as simple as that. Either you connect with Sat, with truth, with Krishna, or you're staying in Trigunamai. There's blue, red, and yellow. Sattva, Raja, Tamas. And a mixture, combination thereof. You get 8,400,000 species, you get all the different occupations and permutations and variations, all the variables of life. Anything in this universe is anda. Anda means it's an egg, it's a closed circuit, nothing gets in. Except Golokera Premadana Harinam Sankirtan, except the message of the Bhagavatam. So if you want something that's of a different taste, of a different experience than Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, you need to connect with transcendence, with Sat, Chit, Ananda. And that's the actual occupation of the soul. And that's why we're sitting here today, because we have tasted that taste of eternity, that taste of immortality. And not just because we took snan at the right day in Kumbh Mela, at the right moment, or no. But this is available anytime. So, I sum it up. Read Prabhupada's books every day, study them, take notes, put your intelligence that Krishna has given you and that he can take away anytime, put that to good use in studying Prabhupada's books, then apply them in your life through seva projects, and then see how you can be helpful, how you can be useful for others, and see how Krishna will empower you to do. Once I come to terms with my insignificance, cosmogonal opportunities open up. But as long as I think I'm a something, I'm a someone, have you ever had people who you heard them say, "Don't you know who I am?" Have you heard that? Huh? And not just when you at the airline or in a store or at the call center, but in general, don't you know who I am? Yeah, you're a nobody. You're a little confused jiva, So it sounds like fun, right? But then, why is it so much fun? Because it sounds so relatable, because we have been in a similar situation every so often. If you want to have an exciting life, join the Sankirtan team of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and you will never run out of exciting things to do. Right now, Krishna consciousness is thriving in India because ISKCON is a brand name, because in the last 5 decades, devotees have given their lives, their blood, sweat, and tears to bring it to the level it is at. But of course, there are always problems and issues and tensions, and a lot needs to be done. And then at some point, we should think also, what about our neighbors, What about the East? What about the West? What about the North? Things are not going too great. Have you noticed? No, you don't read the news, right? You're not doing that, right? You don't do social media. That's why you're so happy. You're so blissful, right? Because you stay off the phone. So, it's a big world out there, and we need people who want to be part of the solution. We already know what the problems are. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, and all that stuff. So, are you willing to be part of the solution? If not, you are part of the problem. I'm not saying you are the problem, but you are part of the problem. Because either you're making things better or you're making things worse. And you can't be neutral. Even the Swiss are not neutral. How long can you sit on a fence? Did you ever sit on a fence? Yeah, every school kid does that, right? Because these are certain stupid things that you have to do in life, right? And sitting on a fence is one of them. How long can you sit on a fence? Any vigyan, any realization? Did you ever try to sit on a fence? Is it comfortable to sit on a fence? No. How long can you sit on a fence? It depends whether it's these, these these trishouls or these glass pieces or barbed wire, right? Or a bamboo, or it may be a nice wall, but you can't really stay on a fence. Vir tatasta. It's where the water meets the land. We can go either way. Consciously, we have to always direct our consciousness towards Krishna. Otherwise, Maya is very attractive. Very attractive. And because we're unfortunately not so trained and not really afraid of Maya, because now we think we're westernized, we're educated, we can handle it, we can do this. I met a guy in Philadelphia, young guy, engineer, making $1 crore plus, which is starting salary, no big deal. And I met him and he said, he was so boastful, Oh yeah, this weekend, he broke the regulative principles and he thought, no consequences, no strings attached, nothing to pay for. It's all good, And I'm like, dude, what are you saying? You haven't understood, like, where attention goes, energy flows, You do some of that stuff, this will be an addiction. This will be something that will carry on, and it will debilitate you. Do you want that? Do you want that? No. So, nunam pramatta kurute vikarma yadindriya prite apranoti sadhu manye sadatmanoyam asana pikleshada ashadeha. Translation?
A madman does the sinful activity, although the
Indriya priti, too much sense gratification, and then happens they become mad, they go crazy, pagal, because they want more of that, and they do any crazy thing, and then what happens?
Then again he goes back the body, which actually gives it pain.
He goes.
He gets again the material body that gives it pain.
Yeah, you got to go to school again. Do you want to go to school again? Do you want to do exams again? Do you want to fall in love and out of love and start fighting and all that stuff? Do you want to do that again? I dropped out of 9th grade. I was done. Don't let school interfere with your education. We're an educational movement. There's nothing wrong. We're here to learn. I'm happy to study. I'm happy to do all that stuff. But just killing time till time kills me is not a good way how to live life. So, thank you for being who you are and doing what you do. This is the most important time of your life. You're investing in your foundation. It's not just about a few tricks and doing a few of these and not doing a few of those. It's about really gaining taste. And that comes from practice and from being around people who have taste. And it's not just the guys in saffron. There's so many people who have taste. But make sure you're following the right kind of role models. Because cults and cult leaders are not, they don't have a very long shelf life. It's not a sustainable formula. Have you noticed? So, Krishna's system works. So follow Krishna's system and you'll be successful. Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna, Yatra Partha Danudara, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhutir Druvanitir Matir Mama. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much. I know you got a lot on your program here, but just take more the information, take more the bhav, the mood of Mayapur, which is, very magnanimous, Adharyadam. It's very blissful, it's very kind, it floats everyone's canoe, even my own little dinghy, my own little, This place is amazing. so you're in the right place at the right time. And whatever's got to come will come. Huh? All I can do is all I can do. That is put one foot in front of the next. That is picking up my beads and less my phone. So feel free to unsubscribe. Feel free to limit, don't get caught up in toys and technology and debates and all the other proclivities of the mental sphere, and really focus on the essence. Then the sadhya will become revealed through your sadhana. And of course, in theory, we understand prema pumartha mohan. I want prema bhakti. I want to go back home, back to Godhead. I want to go back to Krishna. But how does this translate in today? What's going to happen in my life at this current stage? We need a little help from our friends. And you're fortunate because you got friends. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So thank you for being team players. And Krishna has a plan. And the good news is, it's not my plan, which means that I can't mess it up. But I'm excited to get more of an idea of Krishna's plan, because Krishna is willing to reveal his plan to those who cooperate with him. As you have seen, some of the things, some of the obstacles and some of the tension and some of the difficulties in your life have been removed. And hey, you made it to Mayapur. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? You're in Mayapur? It's crazy, right? Yeah, it's crazy. Just a few days ago, I was somewhere, in some city, just, breaking rocks and chasing stuff and, doing stupid stuff. And now I'm here in Mayapur chanting Hare Krishna. It's a miracle. I remember I went to school and I was just praying. I was doing my Nishinga Arti every day, and I was just praying to Nishingadev, get me out of here. I swear, I guarantee. I'll be your guy, I'll be your boy. I'll do whatever you want, but get me out of here. I'm not going to school for another year, I need to, but I'm 15. What are you going to do when you're 15, right? But he arranged. And so he can move anything, heaven and earth. For him, no big deal. The universe is a little mustard seed on Antadev's head, so not a big deal. One day I was doing Nisinga Arti, and my sister is knocking on the door, and of course I ignore her because sisters need to be ignored, right? Haribol, especially when you're doing Arti, right? So I finish my Arti, and then I go downstairs, and I ask, so what's up? Why you come and disturb me when, And she said, there's a guy at the door here, and he wanted to sell me some books. And I said, there's already one crazy guy upstairs. So we don't need more of that. And where is he? Where is he? I ran out on the street, start looking for him. And then I found him. And he was a little sad, a little depressed, because it's a very conservative neighborhood. And people were not very responsive. Not many books went out. So he was a little depressed. And I was like, a Sankirtan devotee. And he was like, it's like, why am I so enthusiastic and he's so depressed, right? Should be the other way around. So anyway, his name was Nishingadev Das. So Krishna has a funny sense of humor. One time in Mumbai, right in front of St. Xavier College, Marine Drive, and you go into Chowpatty, Munchi Mart. So there's a traffic cop, and with the big specs, and he's stopping a truck, and he's just taking the bribe from the gariwala, from the truck driver, and I jam in there, and I give the book to the to the cop, and I say, give a donation. So he has the book and he has the money. And he gets confused, like he loses his mind, he goes blank, Before he was in his element, like, your truck is overloaded, give me the money, get lost. And now all of a sudden, he don't know what to do. So then he got bewildered. And then somehow Super Soul inspired him, and he just gave me whatever money he got from the guy, he gave it to me. And then the truck driver started laughing, and we were all laughing. And then at the end, I always say, my name is Navin Das. I ask him, what's your name? And the cop said, "My name is Krishna." And we were laughing more. And what started as a really tense situation, like when this cop thing and extortion and, bribe and all that tension. And at the end, we were practically hugging, and like, yeah, it's a good day, Haribol, let's all go home happy. So that's what bhakti does to the world. So you think you got problems? You don't have problems. It's all in your mind. It's all small. It's all just totally small stuff. Focus on the essentials and carry 4 hours, And I wanted toilet paper. And Krishna said, "You want toilet paper? I'll give you toilet paper. I give you a whole warehouse full of toilet paper. How much toilet paper you want? Knock yourself out." He got off the forklift. He walked out of the warehouse. He went back to the temple. And he said, "I was an idiot. Okay, no toilet paper. Okay, I'm going to get up at 4 o'clock. Krishna, you got me. All right, you win." We got to go for breakfast. Yes, that's a good idea. Because I was told you guys always go till 9:30. So this was the bonus track, You got a few stories. You got a few little, tidbits for your mind and for your intelligence. But try to get into the bhav. And the bhav is Harinam Sankirtan. It's seva. The more you get into seva mode, the more Krishna will do the magic and will empower you. Money back guarantee from this class. Thank you very much. And don't define yourself. The way you define success is what defines your success. Don't define your success by your zip code, by your degree, or by your paycheck, or by your social circle. Define your degree. I define a person by the substance of their bhajan, of their sadhana. How much taste you have for japa? How much taste you have for kirtan? How much taste you have for studying Prabhupada's books? And how much taste you have for seva, for preaching? Because we're here to actually be part of the solution. So the world needs you, and Prabhupada has given us everything. There's nothing that is lacking. You don't have to go somewhere else. You've met plenty of people who are educated in the University of YouTube. Have you heard of the University of YouTube? No? People who click on little videos and they think they know now. So don't just go on surface mode. You have to go deep. You have to apply yourself. And with that realization, you will actually be able to have impact in your life and in other people's lives. Thank you very much. Grantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitagor Premanande! And you got to sing and dance every day. I saw, you're good dancers, You got it in you. So keep doing that thing, but not just at home, also do it outside when you're in Harinam. And people will go, wow, man, I want what you guys have. And then selling a book, this is all easy stuff, because of taste. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.